That was not a top 50 verse.
Do you like the new song?
No, but you know.
You don't like Ace Trumpets?
What's so great
about it? It's so good.
Pusha T or Malice?
To keep it a buck, I'm gonna go with Pusha T. So we're not gonna drink to them.
Jim Jones really woke up and chose chaos, like full-blown, industry-shaking chaos.
My son can't tell you one Nas record. You heard? Like, let's keep it a buck here.
Yeah, but
like, let's keep.
This man came swinging at not one, not two, but 3 legends in the game: Nas, Pusha T, and No Malice. And now he's finding out the hard way that not every hill is worth dying on. What started as Jim running his mouth turned into a full-blown lyrical war zone.
Viral at all, ever. He's never been talked about like this ever in his life.
Now, has Nas reached out to you?
You did. The last time he was in some like this where people were comparing when him and Jay was beating on him.
Say that.
You heard? You did? Like, that, and I don't want to talk about other people's career, but let's just get to the semantics of it.
Since the whole thing?
Nas.
Okay.
I don't know Nas to have a conversation with him. You don't have a conversation, we can have that too much like that. You dig? Like, I don't really care.
One thing I
about
did see you do, I've seen you do this in Say Less, I've seen you do this in the studio.
He thought he was just giving a hot take, but he messed around and sparked one of the slickest comeback campaigns the game has seen in years. The whole industry is watching him spiral in real time like, bruh, you really did this to yourself. See, when Jim said Nas wasn't relevant, that wasn't just a shot, it was a landmine. He didn't just light a fire, he damn near summoned the entire Clipse catalog back from the grave. Suddenly, what was supposed to be some harmless talk turned into a rap beef that made it all the way to Paris Fashion Week, front row.
The future is not something you wait for, it's something you build. It lives in the hands of the doers, the dreamers, the people who refuse to stand still. Resorts World is more than a casino. It's energy, it's opportunity, it's hope for the borough. A second chance for some, a first step for many. It's where community gathers, not just to win, but to build a future once imagined. This isn't just business, this is legacy. And now it's time to invest in us.
And who was sitting there watching it unfold? Pharrell, Beyonce, Jay-Z, yeah, that level of audience. And right smack in the middle of this mess, Jim Jones. The same dude who said Pusha T's music never meant anything to him is now being turned into a marketing tool for Clipse's official comeback. You can't make this up.
Can you sing along the 5 Pusha T records right now? His records.
Yes.
His records?
Yeah.
Name
I love Pusha. Nostalgia.
Oh, you was a Pusha T fan. He's like, I didn't know he had fans like that. Can you name 5 Pusha T records? No, his records. Pusha T, I love your soul, my dog. You're not in my top 50. You might be in Charlemagne's top 50 and things like that, but you haven't done that much for me in my life. Like, I didn't never want to be like Pusha. I never had a Pusha moment in my life. I never thought, like you did, like, where I'm from, you want to be like you if you was really that dude and that rapper and things like that.
Wayne wanted to be like Pusha?
Yeah.
He was influenced by Pusha?
Yeah? Okay, cool.
That's why Pusha did the Mr. Me Too record.
Okay, cool. You're a very strong Pusha T fan. You heard? Mm-hmm. But what else has he bring to the game? Did he make people want to dress like him? Did he have some slang that everybody was talking like him? There'll be all the girls wanted to do him. Like, what is you did?
Then came the real jaw dropper. Jim went on record and brought Nas into it like this. This son, they know about Nas. My son can't tell you one Nas record. What? Harlem must have gone completely silent in that moment. This man just dragged Nas's entire legacy to the table uninvited and tried to say it wasn't even worth remembering.
Make some noise for the Clipse. Mr. Genesis.
Now hold on. DC. Make some noise for the Clipse, y'all.
It's all right.
What's crazy is that Nas comment wasn't even the wildest thing Jim Jones said that week. This man didn't just speak once and walk away. He laughed, joked, and kept spinning the block with it. He doubled down, tripled down, said it on The Breakfast Club, Bag Fuel, Nightcap with Shannon Sharp, and even random live streams and street interviews like he was on a press tour for drama.
Let's go! It's 2 years like I was cruising. I was just assuming you keep it cool, but I got one question.
At first, he tried to play it off, saying he was just being honest as a fan. But then, he cranked the delusion up a notch. On Bag Fuel, Jim didn't just disrespect Nas, he flipped the whole thing and claimed he's the reason Nas is trending again.
I would say he's the greatest of all times. The relevancy that he keeps showing year after year, hit after hit, record after record. Any record that he has put out has seemed to go multiple platinum. Like that's never has happened before in this history. I mean, there's a few other people that do astronomical numbers like that, but he really in it. Like, you know what I mean?
According to him, nobody was even talking about Nas like this since the Ether days. Yes, Jim really said that, with a straight face, on camera. But here's the thing Jim never clocked. Nas ain't the type to bark online or drop diss tracks for attention. Nah, Nas moves in silence. He links with billionaires, shakes hands with CEOs, and lets his moves do the talking. While Jim was out here cracking jokes and going viral for the wrong reasons.
And when I was coming home one day and talking with myself, I said, I'm just gonna live. Forget this guilty, feeling. Forget all this regret. Do what you wanna do. Ain't nobody else tripping like you. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and party and do it up. And I literally tried to sear my conscience, like forget it. So when people say you found God, I did not find God. I was trying to party with the devil. Trust me, I was trying to go hard. God himself said, no, not you. He did not allow me to do it. And that's what I seen with my own eyes, whether anyone believes it or not.
While Jim was chasing clout, Nas was building real power. And out of nowhere, Nas went to Instagram and casually dropped an ad for a $5 billion casino development in Queens. A whole empire move. That post wasn't just business. It was a flex, straight from the top floor. I'm too rich for this conversation. And honestly, if that was the only fire Jim played with, maybe it would have ended there. But nope, he kept poking the bear. Next target? Pusha T. Jim went all the way reckless and straight up said Pusha T wasn't even top 50.
But he could always say, Jim, I wasn't talking about you.
I mean, and I would be hurt. I would be heartbroken. I would be so upset. You hurt?
You was talking about me. Yeah, you were.
Let's rewind for a second. Clipse didn't just pop back out of nowhere. These two had been silent for nearly 15 years. But behind the scenes, moves were already being made. Months before Jim ever said a word, Pusha T had dropped a quiet message in Rolling Stone.
If you know, it's always on a Big Mac. You'll drive through, drive by in the car with a Big Mac. The last year you dropped, that shit was garbage, take that shit back. What you got your brother right? Try to bring the country right. Talking about your brother, what happened to that boy? Looking like they selling crack to that boy. Really though, enough of the jokes. It's getting embarrassed. I really got some money, I catch you out in Paris.
Then boom, Jim started talking wild. And it might have been the excuse Pusha needed. That little spark of disrespect just might have ignited a full-on reunion. The first clues started showing up back in 2022 at Farrell's Something in the Water Festival in Virginia Beach. Clipse hit the stage and the energy was electric.
We went viral on the Spotify Rap Caviar podcast.
Yes.
About
Man,
Pusha T.
People don't like people, yeah, see? There we go. And then look what happens. But I'm ready for all things, man. Shouts to Pusha, shouts to that guy, shouts to the Clipse. You know what I mean? Congratulations.
Do you like the new song?
No, but
you don't like Ace Trumpets?
What's so great about it?
It's so good.
It's good?
It's so, oh man.
It's good?
So yeah, there's something going on that you ain't tell us about, bro.
It's good in what? A nostalgic value of it?
You don't think Ace Trumpets is hard?
I don't believe them.
Oh.
But that's a whole nother story. I don't want to downplay anybody's craft or their music. I want to uplift
hell yeah.
everybody and things like that. But I don't listen to their music. I never have. I can't recall too many records that I can remember.
Later that year, they popped up again at Complex Con and then again at Hyde Park Summerfest in Chicago, ripping through classics like Lord Willin' and Hell Hath No Fury. No Malice didn't look hesitant anymore. He looked hungry.
I'm way more influential than Nas, and I don't care what nobody say. I know I made a little boo-boo when you talk about the sales and all this type of shit. I don't feel like getting into that rhetoric about where I started and where he started.
Well, you said that bullshit.
But listen, Nas was nice when I was in high school. When I was in 10th grade, Nas came out. Nas was dope. We appreciated him. He had a little bit run.
But then came the real shift, the one that had everybody shook. Clipse was spotted in Paris, walking the Louis Vuitton runway, hand in hand with Pharrell, who had just been crowned the new creative director of LV Menswear, sitting front row, Jay-Z and Beyonce, soaking it all in.
But Nas always came up second to Jay and DMX and all these other people. Like, he
Ain't
never
no
had
shame in that. There a lot of more folks came up second to Tom Brady.
He never had that type of influence on us, except for his first album.
Then, right in the middle of the show, something crazy happened. A brand new Clipse track blasted through the speakers. It wasn't just new music, it was a lyrical sniper shot. And the target? Jim Jones. Pusha wasn't slick about it either. He was direct. That verse was aimed straight at Jim's neck.
He had the barbecue and shit like that. So I'm a real fan of Nas, but he kind of lost me after the movie Belly and shit like that.
But this wasn't some petty internet diss. This was a high-fashion, billionaire-backed, legacy-level takedown. It debuted at Paris Fashion Week, in front of the most powerful names in culture. And who was behind it all? Pharrell. Now fans are connecting the dots. Was this Pharrell's silent revenge? A calculated move from 55's top floor to clap back at Jim for years of slick talk and shade? It's starting to look that way, especially since Jim kept calling Drake the GOAT in interviews, openly riding for Pusha T's biggest rival. He made his position crystal clear in that complex interview. Jim was standing 10 toes down in the mess he created. But what had people really stunned? Was No Malice stepping back into the spotlight? Let's be real. He'd been silent for over a decade. The older brother who stepped away from rap, embraced faith, and chose a path of peace. Meanwhile, Pusha stayed outside, taking names. No Malice had even said publicly multiple times that he was done with music, he wasn't coming back. So when his voice echoed through the speakers during that Louis Vuitton show in Paris, it didn't just shock the crowd, it sent chills down spines. That wasn't a rapper returning to flex. That was a man stepping back in with purpose, a man who had something to say. And here's the thing, No Malice wasn't just spitting random bars. This wasn't just a diss, it was a layered hit with laser-sharp precision. When No Malice spit, "Bird talk, we all parrots," that wasn't some random bar. It was a direct shot at Jim Jones's whole Bird Gang brand, his name, his crew, his identity. No Malice tore it all down in one smooth line. But here's where it gets deeper. Fans started realizing this wasn't just No Malice hopping back in the booth. He came back like he'd been waiting on this smoke for years. His return wasn't some feel-good bonus. It was a warning. He was here to check egos. And Jim? He gave him the perfect opening. Jim tried to play it cool at first. He posted a clip on Instagram laughing off Pusha's Paris verse, acting like it didn't faze him. But then, he slipped. On Drink Champs, when Nor brought up Clipse's diss, Jim cracked. He let the mask drop. That was the moment everyone knew. He felt it. He was pretending to shrug it off, but deep down, that hit landed. Then came the BT Awards. Bootleg, Kev sat Jim down for a quick interview. And of course, Jim went right back to acting unbothered. When asked about Clipse's new single, Chains and Trumpets, Jim brushed it off, claimed Clipse was just leaning on nostalgia and that their bars were mid. Because what do you do when the very legends you clowned start leveling up again? You either fall back or double down. And Jim, he went for the second option, grabbed another shovel, and kept digging. On Nightcap, with Shannon Sharp, he circled back again to his favorite punching bag, Nas. This time he took it way further. Jim claimed Nas was never really that influential, that he always came in second to Jay-Z and DMX. And then he dropped the wildest line yet. That's like saying Jordan fell off after Space Jam. Come on now, that's not just delusional. It's embarrassing. The Clipse weren't playing around. This album rollout came heavy. The feature list alone was wild. Nas, Kendrick Lamar, Tyler, The Creator, The Dream, John Legend, and the whole thing, executive produced by none other than Pharrell. But here's where it gets really crazy. The album was originally supposed to drop under Def Jam. That is, until whispers started flying that Def Jam allegedly tried to censor Kendrick's verse. Why? Because that verse reportedly threw some slick shots at Drake, Travis Scott, and the fake political games happening behind the scenes in the industry. Clipse didn't flinch. They didn't negotiate. They straight up pulled the whole project from Def Jam and took it to Rock Nation instead. That move alone sent a loud message. Clipse wasn't back as some nostalgic throwback act. They came back as power players in the game. And remember when Jim laughed and asked, "Who even has Pusha T's back like that?" This was the answer. Jim can keep rapping. He can keep posting and trolling and pretending this is all just internet chatter. But behind the curtain, big moves are happening. Album meetings, tour deals, music videos, all without him. So now the real question is no longer, will Jim respond? He wanted to go viral. Now, he just might have talked himself completely out of hip-hop history. If you were locked in for this wild ride, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Let us know whose side you're on. Share this with someone who needs to catch up on the chaos, and we'll catch you on the next one.